Hey everybody. I have moved to a place called Gumi, Gumi. And if I think about it, I'll put down here, somewhere on here, I'll put the Korean letters to spell Gumi. Um, anyway, I wanted to wait until I had actually gotten into a place of my own and yeah, before I made a video giving any explanation of what's been going on. Not only that, but if you've known me a while, you know that I can be a fairly sentimental. No, actually, that's not true. I am a very sentimental person, especially when people treat me kindly. And I have to tell you that I'm not sure I'm going to make it through this video without shedding a few tears. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm feeling pretty good, but I have to tell you, the last couple of days have been not sad in a bad way. It's just sad in knowing how wonderful my previous experience was. And let me show you something one of my students there gave to me. His mom made this. Yes, isn't that nice? And it came with a letter from my students. I have, yeah, I copied a, I posted that letter in my previous video. And the student who wrote that, Leo, if you want to know who he is, if you go to my previous video, the very last picture in that video, where you see two young boys, he's the tallest of the two, but they are brothers, and both of them have been students of mine for the last 3.5 years. And yes, I think they've done fairly well. And that in that letter, it's special for several reasons. One of them is because Leo had used some of his English skills in that letter that we had been learning, or that I had been teaching him about over the last several weeks. Mind you, he's just an elementary school student right now, and yeah. So besides what it says to me, the gift, he told me not to lose it. And let me show you the back of it. He put to Ron and from Leo. Yeah. And Leo, he and his brother, as I've said, they've been students of mine for 3.5 years, and they've both been. I've met their parent, his mother, and she's always been very kind to me, and yeah, very special. Several other students, in fact, all of them were very kind, gave me their fond farewells, and very touching moments during the last few moments there while at the other school. Briefly, I'll tell you, give you a little synopsis of what happened. I won't tell you every little detail. First of all, I didn't quit out of not liking the school. Nothing like that. The fact is, the school over the last several months suddenly took a very bad economic downfall. I mean, things just suddenly went out of whack. I mean, it wasn't students. It's like suddenly about 10 students or more just withdrew because their parents moved and they got new jobs, things like that, and we were just not ever able to get more students in time for them to be able to recover that. Not only that, but a couple of teachers quit because one of them moved to London to go back to school, and just different things like that. And so, it was just a really really terrible, terrible, terrible thing. Oh, and another thing, the owner of the building, his he was getting into financial situations, and it turns out that he owed some people money or something, and somehow the building itself was wrapped up in all of that. And oh gosh, everything was just, and it all just came suddenly, everything all at once. And so, uh, yeah, and so my boss, I say there were three of them. They decided it was best to just close the school. And I want to tell everybody here that I have no hard feelings toward them at all, because from the very first day all the way to the last minute, they did everything in the world that they could to support me, and they they were just remarkable all the way up until the end. In fact, it was they who gave a recommendation to a company manager, who gave me a recommendation to the job that I'm going to begin tomorrow. By the way, I've recorded this on February 26, 2012. Anyway, so, and just to tell you how quick all of this happened, it was just last Wednesday night that the company manager brought me here to interview with the school director here, and she hired me right away. Yeah, and then I went back to Yongchun and did my packing and everything. And so this morning at 10 o'clock, the boss here showed up, yep, at my door right on time. And so we loaded all my goods on their van, and I came here. And ever since I've been here, my director here has just been phenomenally hospitable. There are some friends of the family. They all took me out to eat lunch, and then after that, we went on a little shopping spree. They wanted to buy some food to go into my refrigerator, and they actually wanted to help me unpack, but I wouldn't allow them to do that. I said, no, I will do all of that, but thank you. And they got me into the apartment. Um, maybe I'll post some pictures toward the end of this video of what I've got here. And then after that, oh, I made a little buddy friend. His name is David. He's the son of a family member. And yeah, he and his uncle came by this evening and asked me if I wanted to go to a Korean sauna with them. And I said, sure, let's go. And they took me to the one that's well known in the area. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. We just basically sat in the hot tubs and went from one sauna to a steam room to another hot tub, and it was fun. Anyway, and then they brought me back, and then now here I am. Well, so now I'm getting ready to start another venture. I've got to find out where the hospital is, where I can go get my checkups, and let's see, what else do I need to do? I found out where a health club is, that I'm going to have to give a test walk. I think it's going to take me a little longer to get there than the one that I went to in Yongchun, but maybe I'll pay them a visit. I'm kind of going to have to take my time with that, though. I've got to get into the job and get it going. Yeah. So anyway, so all I want to say right now that it was a very, very, very sentimental moment. You know, when I left the Yongchun school, and it still is when I think about it. But Yongchun is only an hour away. I can get on a train. I can go back to that town, and maybe I can visit with some of the students there or something. But you know how it is after several days and after several weeks and whatever. The old starts to fade away a bit, and the new starts to kick in. So you know, everything's going to smooth out, I'm sure. Anyway, so there you have it. Okay? Talk to you next time. Bye bye.